veterans and military members, we say thank you with $500 bonus cash towards a new eligible vehicle. Shop now at Augusta's #1 Ford dealer, Gerald Jones Ford, and at GeraldJonesFord.com.
PGA, you can't handle the roof.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Good evening. We're giving you a live look over at Grovetown on I-20 and over to Emily Acton. It's been a pretty hot day out, but you say that we're also expecting some storms heading into tonight.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. It has been a very hot day. Temperatures have peaked in those middle 90s. Heat indices, the triple digits. So definitely warm out there right now. Still in those middle and upper 90s. So it's 93 right now in Augusta, Louisville 96, Gibson also 96, Thompson is right at that 95-degree mark. But let's check out the feels like temperatures. Like I said, above that 100-degree mark, feels like 101 in Augusta, Evans 104, and this is actually a little bit cooler than what we saw just a couple of hours ago. Maybe 1 or 2 hours ago, we were seeing 109, 110. Very hot afternoon. Be sure that you're still taking those safety precautions. Well, this might be the warmest weather that we've seen all year, Craig. And that's going to continue into the day tomorrow, but thankfully, we're seeing some rain on the radar, so that's always some good news. Things are looking a little bit, might help us cool down a little bit, but like I said, it's hot out there. Excessive heat warning, excessive heat watch, and I know that there's different colors going on in this map here, but just know we're all seeing the heat. We're all in the same boat. Don't really get caught up on those colors there, but yeah, Craig, we're seeing some rain, and I'm going to track that for you coming up soon.
Thanks, Emily. Well, the death toll from the wildfires that swept through Maui now stands at least 80. Officials fear that number will rise as emergency workers sift through what's left of the historic Lahaina town. Jeff Nguyen has the latest from Maui.
As Army soldiers walk through the rubble of charred buildings searching for any signs of life, residents say they're still in shock following the wildfires that destroyed their town.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a war zone, and you're just like, you don't even know how to feel.
Tuesday's fire in Lahaina wiped out 80% of the town. It incinerated more than 2,200 buildings, mostly residential, leaving thousands homeless.
We lost everything. Thank God that we still have each other and we're all alive and safe and counted for. It's like we're the only things we have now, because everything that we had in the past is gone.
People are still trying to make their way back to their homes to see if anything is left. Officials worry the death toll will soar as searchers pour through the scorched wreckage. For the survivors, an army of volunteers is delivering food, water, and clothing to shelters to help people like Joanne Hayashi, who had to jump into the ocean to escape the flames.
What's nice being here, you get to see people you didn't know were, made it, and it just keeps you busy, so you're not dwelling on what am I going to do next? Where are my cats? Are they alive? Because you just be there crying.
The cause of the fire is still undetermined, but residents are demanding answers as to why Hawaii's extensive system of warning sirens never sounded.
No sirens went off, nothing. We just had to know that ourselves. It was fight or flight with no warning whatsoever.
Hawaii's Attorney General plans to lead a review of decision-making and policies surrounding the disaster. But for these residents, that's too little, too late. Jeff Nguyen, CBS News, Maui.
And officials will estimate it's going to cost at least $5.5 billion in several years to rebuild. The FDA has issued a warning for certain products that test for pregnancy, ovulation, and other conditions. The manufacturer, Universal Meditech Inc., has stopped all operations and is no longer providing support for the tests. The company has recalled undistributed tests, but not those that are already in the hands of people. The FDA advises anyone with the tests to throw them away, as they may not be safe and effective. The tests may have been distributed under brand names such as AC&C, Healthy Wiser, Home Health US, and Prestige Biotech. For full list of products, visit the medical device safety page at fda.gov. And the Richmond County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to find this missing man. Jai Chen was last seen Friday afternoon around 3:30 at a reserve lane in Augusta. Chen is about 6'2" with black hair and brown eyes. If you see him or have any information on where he can be, call the Sheriff's Office with the number on your screen. Today, the Barnwell County Sheriff's Office held its third annual Law Enforcement Expo at the Barnwell County Airport grounds. Law enforcement officers from various agencies showcased their chosen equipment, and News 12 spoke with the police chief, who says he enjoys coming to these events to meet people in the community and motivating students as they start school.
As law enforcement agencies, we are very excited about not only motivating young people to do the right thing, but also this is the beginning of school. So just give them some messages, give them some, back to school items, and pretty much, give them the confidence to make the right decision.
The event also had free hot dogs and hamburgers, and Barnwell students received a variety of school supplies from SRP. Well, happening right now at the Augusta Common is the Afro-Caribbean Festival. Communities across the state are coming to this to celebrate the arts, fashion, and culture from multiple countries of African and Caribbean region. Our Sydney Hood stopped by the event. And Sydney, what can you tell us?
It's an international trip you don't need a passport for. Roughly 20 different countries from Africa to the Caribbean are out here, bringing the taste and look of their heritage to Augusta, and most importantly, a learning opportunity for locals.
Well, this is the real street tacos. And normally what we got in the restaurants around the U.S. is more like a Tex-Mex food, and this is more like close to what we do in the streets of Mexico. We try to explain to people the way it is.
And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 11 o'clock, we'll have more from out here at the Afro-Caribbean Festival and hear why this is more of a learning opportunity than anything. In Augusta, Sydney Hood, on your side.
Alrighty, thanks for that, Sydney. And if you haven't had the chance to stop by yet, the festival goes on until 10, and it's free. Over to Burke County Middle School held its second annual back-to-school bash this afternoon. We spoke with the principal of Burke County Middle to ask why this event is important to both students and parents, and here's what he had to say.
This is an opportunity for the school to get the parents involved. We want to open up the school year with this, celebrating all the success our kids had last year, but then to bridge our opportunities with our parents to know that we're engaged with the community.
Principal Atkinson also showed the engagement between the school and parents are significant in the development of the students. Well, coming up, one woman says from time to time, she and her dog will go outside to get rid of the cats on her front porch. But one morning, she says she was startled by something much bigger than a cat.
Well, this might be the warmest warmest temperatures that we've seen this year. So stay tuned and stay cool out there. I'll have your full forecast coming up after the break. Attention homeowners.
A woman in Daytona Beach, Florida says on occasion she will send her dog to discourage cats that are gathering on her front porch. But early Thursday morning, she went to discover something much larger. Dave McDaniel spoke with her earlier about a morning bear encounter.
My brother called me last night and was cracking up. He was like, Gina, only you scream like that.
Gina Helsel said her dog told her it was time to clear the porch of cats early Thursday morning. Normal stuff until the bear poked its head around the corner.
The bear was getting in the neighbor's trash, and I caught it in the act.
The good news is, once Helsel and her dog took a scram, the bear did too.
The bear is mostly focused on the dog, and it basically, lunges, does a little bit of a bluff charge, and then when her and the dog retreat, the bear runs away.
Meaning normal behavior and likely not an aggressive bear.
But they just all startled each other, and she probably wasn't prepared to have a bear sitting there, and the bear probably wasn't prepared to have her show up with the dog.
I'm always looking for gators. I'm always looking for snakes. And I have this great fear of, like a coyote or something, but bears, I just don't really think about.
In the confusion, Helsel seemed to struggle with the door.
I did fumble with it, and it was open too. It wasn't like shut all the way, because I never shut it all the way if I take him out.
This neighborhood backs up to a natural conservation area, which is, of course, natural habitat for bears. Meaning if you live in this neighborhood, it's especially important to make sure your trash is hard to get.
Some way to keep the garbage secure so that you're not bringing the bears from the woods into your neighborhood where you can have a run-in like she had.
Helsel says she holds no ill will toward the bear.
I am glad the bear's a cat. I'm not into having the bear. The bear was doing what it lives here.
Just glad she made it out alive. Well, now taking y'all to downtown Augusta, looking over the skies, sunny, but you can see a little bit of clouds there, and I'm hearing there might be some storms tonight. Gonna toss things over to the first alert meteorologist, Emily Acton, with more.
Yeah, Craig, we're tracking some showers and thunderstorms approaching the CSRA. Not quite here yet, so good news or bad news, depending on who you are, I guess. It's very hot out there, so the rain will cool us down. But also, if you have any outdoor plans, definitely don't want to see the rainfall headed in. But this is what we're dealing with right now. Here's a current look at our radar. Several severe thunderstorm warnings across many states. I mean, if we go even up to North Carolina, seeing some, South Carolina, Georgia, even into Alabama, seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings. Good news is these storms are weakening as they're getting a little bit closer to us here in the CSRA, and I'll take a little bit of a closer look. I would say these showers and thunderstorms here just right outside the CSRA, those have the potential to stick together a little bit longer and might make its way to Augusta if it holds together. Like I said, they're starting to weaken, so that's some good news. They just put out a special weather statement there. Not including any of our counties yet, but I'm sure probably give it 15-20 minutes, we might be seeing a special weather statement at the least, maybe a severe thunderstorm warning this evening. But overall, most of us are going to have a relatively calm evening, but it's hot out there. Right now we are in those 90s, and check out the dew points. It's actually gone down a little bit. In those lower 70s, we were in the middle and upper 70s a few hours ago. And whenever we see high humidity levels, high temperatures, that's what makes us feel even hotter out there. And didn't have a pause point for you. That was crazy. Anyways, we're just going to ignore that. Heat indices right now are surpassing those triple digits. So again, whenever we have those higher dew points, higher temperatures, really makes it muggy out there, and very high heat indices. Here's an hour-by-hour look. I would say this is a little bit closer to what we are seeing right now, so maybe shave off an hour. Seeing some cloud cover sticking around, a couple isolated showers, again, make their way to our southern counties. I think we might see a little bit more rain than what this is showing, but nonetheless, just saying overnight tonight could see an isolated shower or two. Will cool off into those lower 70s. Some spots might see in those upper 60s. And then as we go throughout the day tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and could see an isolated shower later on in the afternoon start to populate. So just be aware of that. Overnight, also tracking some rain and not showing up on that for us. But nonetheless, you'll just have to trust me overnight. Sunday into Monday, we are tracking some rain. And check out tomorrow and Monday's temperatures, Craig. 98 feels like going to definitely surpass the 105 mark, 110 mark in some places. So it's going to be very, very hot over the next several days. High temperatures for this year in Augusta, 96, Aiken, 97. We might beat the record.
Oh boy, looks like summer is not over. Well, thanks for the heads up, Emily. And going past the atmosphere, the James Webb Space Telescope has given scientists more information about the most distant star ever detected. This is Eridale. It's about 20 billion light years away, 1 million times brighter than the sun and twice as hot. The light the telescope saw from the star was emitted within the first billion years of the universe. For context, the universe is thought to be about 13.8 billion years old. The only reason Eridale is visible at all is because a massive galaxy cluster between us and Eridale magnified its light. The telescope also detected colors that suggest Eridale has a cool red companion star there. Absolutely amazing. We're never going to stop discovering stuff out there in space. Endless. Well, an 11-year-old is in custody and facing charges, but the family of the victim wants to know why it took investigators so long to announce charges. We'll have that story and more when News 12 at 6 o'clock continues next.
It got to the point. Digital special.
We can safely remove any tree, anywhere. Guaranteed.
To learn more, visit southerngrindstumpandtree.com. First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Lexus Acura Infinity.
In North North Carolina, an 11-year-old boy is now in custody and facing charges in the shooting death of an 8-year-old girl. Last month, Genesis Dockery and her sister were adopted off of a babysitter's house. That's when Dockery's father says the babysitter's 11-year-old son got his hands on a gun and shot the 8-year-old. On Thursday, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office recommended the boy be charged with 2 counts of larceny of a firearm and 1 count of manslaughter. Now the family wants to know why it took investigators more than 2 weeks to announce the charges.
This has been a horrible nightmare. Still doesn't feel real. It's hard to put into words how we're trying to navigate 3 weeks later for something to be done.
Genesis' family also wants charges brought against the adults they say allowed the 11-year-old to have access to that gun. New images from inside the home of the suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer. Stephanie Gosk tells us his family is now threatening to sue police for the condition they left the home in after their search.
Attorneys for Rex Sherman's family say investigators left the alleged serial killer's home unlivable.
They can't be inside. The house is in shambles. It's ransacked. The conditions inside are deplorable.
The family is considering a lawsuit. Today, lawyers released new photos of the home, including evidence boxes piled high and missing drain pipes in the bathroom. The police department said it does not comment on pending litigation. A lawyer for Herman's wife also made a public appeal for money to help the family. Asa Ellerup, who filed for divorce, has cancer, he says, and the insurance is running out.
Rex Sherman pleaded not guilty. Does his family believe him?
The only thing his family knows about these charges is what's been reported in the media.
But do they think he did it?
We haven't had this conversation. Frankly, it doesn't matter. I need to get Asa back to being mentally healthy.
Rex Sherman is accused of killing 3 women over a decade ago and is linked to the disappearance of a 4th, according to the Long Island prosecutor. He pleaded not guilty. This week, the trial judge ordered the 59-year-old to give prosecutors a DNA cheek swab. In his decision, writing, contrary to the defendant's contentions, there is probable cause to believe that the defendant committed the crimes charged. While the court case moves forward, a multi-agency task force keeps investigating. At least 11 bodies were discovered on or near Gilgo Beach years ago. One alleged serial killer is in jail, while many wonder if there is still another. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Central Islip, New York.
The Writers Guild of America received a counter-proposal from the major Hollywood studios on Friday. It says it's now evaluating that offer and expects to have a response next week. It comes after both sides recently returned to the negotiating table, working to end a strike that hit 100 days this week. Late-night television shows haven't aired new episodes since May, and now it will push back fall television premieres. Both sides still remain far apart on key issues, including pay, residuals, mandatory staffing, and other employment concerns. Well, coming up in sports, the Falcons defense is heating up in the preseason, and the Braves are making changes in the minors. That's new coming up next.
Attention homeowners.com.
Join us right here on WRDW for Warren, A Way of Life, every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Connect with us for a time of worship, prayer, and Bible study with Pastor David McKinley.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
We finally had a peek at what the Falcons have been working on since last season ended. They've had a couple questions to answer. Quarterback problem, that's been filled. Defense, that hasn't been a question. That's been their problem and an area that they've tried to fix since the draft. They've loaded up on the D this offseason, picking up guys like Zach Harrison, DeMarco Helms, Jesse Bates, and a pair of former first-round corners last night in their 19-3 win against the Dolphins. While their starters were sitting, the new guys on defense were putting in some work against Miami. They had 3 interceptions, 5 sacks. Helms had a team-high 7 tackles, a bright spot where they've otherwise struggled.
You try to simulate a practice when you got to make your practices competitive. You try to put them in as many stressful situations as possible. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what this league is. Most of these games are close. There's good players on both sides, but when you get there, you know, if somebody makes a mistake, now we got to improve our tackling, which is usually an issue early in the preseason.
Rookie running back John Boston
who went number 8 in the draft, did not see any action last night. But you won't have to wait too long to see him. He makes his debut this next weekend against Cincinnati. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. Take a look at the score. Braves in a doubleheader today. Take game 1, 21-3. They scored 8 runs in the 9th, 6 homers for the Braves in this one. Hopefully game 2 makes it look like we're actually playing baseball. About 3 hours in the opposite direction sits the Rome Braves. It's where many of our Green Jackets go, making their way up through the Braves pipeline will hold the Braves. Rome is dropping the Braves moniker next season. They've been named the Rome Braves for 20 years. It is not unusual for the name drop. The Gwinnett Braves became the Stripers in 2018. The Mississippi Braves will now be the last remaining team to carry the parent club's nickname. All right, so Mississippi, not too far from where you went, huh?
Yeah, not too far. Kind of miss it over there. Don't miss the crazy weather. We're seeing some of that Mississippi weather right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings across both of our states here in Georgia, South Carolina, even North Carolina. We're seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings right now. As it's moving, this line's moving closer to the CSRA. It is weakening, so that's some good news. Still could see some heavy rainfall and lightning for mainly our western counties. Not super convinced it's going to make its way all the way to Augusta, but still be prepared just in case it does, and those things will hold together. But I have this map finally timed out for you guys of what we can expect over the next several hours. Again, that rain's going to move through overnight this evening, or probably within the next couple of hours, I should say, as we start to get into the overnight hours. Could see a couple of those showers move through again. That's what we're seeing right now. That's what we're currently tracking. Start off our Sunday, though. Things are looking calm. Craig, I think we have a meteor shower tonight. It's going to be pretty cool to watch. I think between 10 p.m. and midnight is the best time to watch it. You might be able to see it in some spots. The cloud cover is going to be broken, so hit or miss, but you might be able to see it.
Alrighty, definitely for our outer counties, and thank you for joining us here at News 12 at 6 o'clock. Be sure to join us again at 11 for more news, weather, and sports coming up.
Let me tell